What is your most Hopium predictions for CitizenCon? This guy. Picking up chips and sticking them on your teeth like a walrus. Bro. Like, I mean, if ever there was a game to let you do something as pointless as that, then yeah, you're in the right place. This guy. Melee weapons. If melee gets a polish, imagine holding a space katana. Dude, yes. Yes. Screw it, I'm in. I can already tell these responses are gonna be different. In a good way, obviously. Welcome back to Red's Resort. Today I'm obviously going through all your Hopium prediction responses to the last video. Before we do that though, we've got a 325A to give away to one of you numpties. We did this because I reached 5,000 subs, which clearly shows that you all have a very bad lack of taste in entertainment that you consume. I did have a big speech in here to begin with, but I chopped it all out because it was too long and boring and soppy and screw it. Let's just thank you for 5,000 subs. Let's pull a winner for this thing. I'm making this up as I go along. You can tell I've not got a script right now. You can just tell. The winner is Nils Gerdes. That's 100% rigged. Fuck. God damn it, Nils. He's the guy who wrote the comment about the freaking walrus teeth. You got a 325A on the way. I already know your email and stuff, so you're good. Well done, brother. Well done. Thank you for supporting this channel for so long. Let's do another one. Let's do the CitizenCon pack thing. To enter that, all you need to do is answer the following question. What is your most anticipated ships that aren't in the game yet? You can feel free to make one up, like if you feel like your taste isn't catered for currently. I know there's a few people out there who would love to see a food truck / burger van type thing. And just feel free to go crazy with that. Don't hold back. And just like this video, maybe we'll put them all together and make a video like this one day. Big shout out to Black Sun and Pappy1775 for becoming channel members. Welcome aboard, guys. If you know anybody looking to get into Star Citizen, please use one of the codes on screen now. If you'd like to become a member, then there's some perks there as well. With all that out of the way, let's get into the video. So, as you can imagine, the predictions range from the pretty reasonable to the absolutely absurd. The biggest one, and the one mentioned most of all, was base building. People, for whatever reason, on some deeper level, just want a place to call their own. Ships are good, hangars are good, but for some reason they just can't quite cut it. People just want a comfy place they can decorate and design, store all their treasures and hang out. And I get it. I really hope the teams at CIG put a lot of thought into how these bases can be tailored so they aren't all just the same. My main fear is security. How safe will it be to store stuff in these bases? Will people be able to bomb them, glitch through walls and that sort of thing? Because to be honest, if you can, then everybody will just keep using hangars. And I don't mind if there's something there that's worth breaking in for, maybe any mined resources or components that are needed to run the place, furniture or decorations left lying around maybe. But for me, I'd need an impenetrable box or something that just can't be touched. And I don't really care how unrealistic that is, because at the end of the day, ain't nobody getting my cutty red plushie. Simple as that. With all that said, they did talk about it last year and there was a lot of security mentioned. So I'm guessing it will be a lot like Rust where you can just raid people's bases, but we'll have to wait and see. I still think it's quite a ways off myself, but I'd love to be wrong about that. A few folks are hoping for more gold standard ships at CitCon, 600i getting mentioned a fair bit, a place to dump towed ships for cash. That doesn't seem unreasonable really. Definitely a game loop that needs fleshed out a fair bit. In fact, exploration, science, data mining and reporting all got mentioned, to be honest. And some are obviously more viable than others for CitizenCon, but any update at all would be great for these. No more Mark IIs. Who's gonna tell them? That Super Hornet is already in the pipe, dude, I'm afraid to say. They come in hard. That was poorly worded, Stephen. Poorly worded there, bro. Crafting is one of those rabbit holes that can be absolutely bottomless if you let it be. Essentially though, from what I gather, everything in the game has been manufactured from resources, and at some point we will likely get access to some of those crafting procedures. So we'd be taking raw material that we mined or bought and manufacturing items which we could then sell on. I'm guessing we will be able to repair and craft various items for ourselves as well, perhaps using some sort of blueprint. It's another guess, but I'd imagine this will eventually be how we get our subflare and gear back. I feel like there's probably still a fair chunk of work to be done on the economy side before things like this, but that doesn't mean we won't get a decent update on the current status at the show. In the long run, it will be nice to see how far they let this go. Obviously the main purpose will be to generate an income out of sometimes passive resources, and that's all very exciting stuff, but it would really come to life if we were able to fabricate and customise items for other players. Now, worrying about the granularity of such systems seems trivial right now because there's still just so much work left on the table, but in the end could really add massive longevity to the game. Allowing some level of skill into the economy and trading would really enhance the depth and interaction between players. Maybe it becomes really difficult to unlock a certain decal or pearlescent paint, maybe some commodity is really hard to source. Maybe you're building a laser repeater that requires a janelite crystal to boost its range or cooling rate. Then you'd be crafting a genuinely very hard to obtain laser gun with custom paint, rare decals and slightly better damage than off the shelf. I'll build them to suit your org and sell you a crate for 5 million. Maybe I cut some other guy in who does a lot of spelunking for crystals. This was the second most sought after comment I got, so a lot of us seem to have our fingers crossed for some solid news on this. The Predator class 400i, 2 extra size 4s or a nose mounted size 5. My dearest citizen, I am liking the way your cookie crumbles right now. Take the bike garage out and just slap a massive Gatling right in there. That's what I'd do anyway. It is time the 400i reasserted itself in the game. It looks too freaking good to just be collecting dust in a hangar. Another popular one was star systems. As we round the corner and eventually gain full access to Pyro, attention has already started turning towards what comes next. It's actually not too unreasonable to assume that they already have a decent bit of work already started on the next system in the game. The guys who make the planets at the very least might have wrapped up a while ago and already moved on to whipping up some new planetary bodies for us to burn into our retinas over the next year. A lot of people seem to be going for Nyx, but I think they'll go big next and aim for something a bit less backwater like Terra. And I know if they whip out a new system, even just a planetary preview, people will absolutely lose their freaking minds. Myself included obviously. I've still got the last planet preview on speed dial, in case I need to start huffing hard when CIG pulls yet another mad self-immolating anti-consumer Hadoken. Nice, Stephen, nice. A lot of words, but yeah. Nice. Combat mechs got a few mentions. That seems pretty odds on at this point. A lot of people looking out for salvage and mining versions, expressing hopes for EVA ability as well. Combat mechs are really going to change the entire battlefield overnight, I think. When you're getting shot by something you can't shoot back at, but it's just as mobile as you, you're really going to need to rethink your strategies playing this game. Getting boarded by these things will be an absolute nightmare. We're definitely going to need some more heavy weapons tech and possibly some EMP grenades or something like that, I don't know. I'm pretty sure all these wishes will be granted over time though, and I'm really excited to see how this one balances out. A playable demo of Squadron 42. Now, this one's, I don't know guys. I think I'd actually be terrified to play this at this point. Like, what if it's just rubbish? I mean, I don't think it will be. Like, I have every faith. But it would be really funny if it was just, like, the worst. Just a massive janky mess. Like, I think I've started to become conditioned to just expect the worst at this point. I'm just putting your expectations down. I'm sorry. So that when we do see it, and it's awesome, we're all surprised and happy. Like, I'm not terrified at all. I totally trust these guys to make something that works, and has been planned well, and has engaging gameplay. At the very least, I expect a decent chunk of gameplay preview footage, and possibly a release date. And from what we've seen last year, even if it falls flat completely, I don't even care, because I know for a fact it will be the best looking sci-fi game I've ever seen with my face holes. And I'll be happier than a pig in shit just to walk through the world they've created. I'm in, no matter what, I'm in at this point. Bring it on, Chris.
Show me what you got.
We had someone asking for new weather systems. That would be cool. We'd love to see night vision helmets as well, or that whole issue addressed. Somebody was asking for the space worm, and I mean, I like to try and avoid spoiling things, but if Supermax done a video on it, then I'm guessing just everyone knows at this point. So there's been files spotted in the leaked data mine about several things related to the worms. So, I mean, worm riding remains to be confirmed, but possibly we're soon to be looking down the barrel of a long and rather toothy tunnel. But according to Mac, there was only supposed to be these creatures found in a specific system, which isn't very likely for Sitcon. It must be too far away or something. So he's thinking maybe it's an arena commander mode that they've been working on, which still could be really cool stuff. Next up is the section that I'd like to call satirical optimism. You'll see what I mean. These responses are typical, let's say, for the Star Citizen community. What would I like to see at CitizenCon? How about some working freaking elevators at scrapyards? Yeah, that would be good, though, not gonna lie. My Hopium prediction for CitizenCon is a working bloody game. He never said bloody. I added that for dramatic effect. Optimization, please. For 4.0 to actually just be released. Like, hello? Why am I doing these voices? I'm just gonna make people so angry. I'd like for COG to start listening to its player base again. Fuck. Such and such a ship ladder or system to fucking work for once. There were loads of these. There were honestly loads of these. My favourite one. A decent fucking flight model. It does seem like there's copious amount of seethe in these, but actually a lot of them were genuinely just satire for a laugh. Either way, I'm with you guys, these deserve said as well as any of the others, to be honest. Now we're off to La La Land, where things are mere whispers in the wind. This section is the real Hopium stuff. Some a lot more than others. In fact, there's actually a few here I was pretty sad to have to put into this section, such as jetpacks, or jump packs, or parachutes, or anything really that would let you eject safely. But it did get taken further into not just reducing fall speed, but also being able to actually jetpack up onto your ship to do repairs or disable turrets at outposts. And then there were aerofoils and deployable hand gliders getting mentioned. Stuff got crazy, but it's all good stuff, and I think there's still a chance for something out of this one. My Hopium is on full blast here. Quite a few folk mentioned escape pods, and it is actually probably about that time as well. Surely these things are really needing considered at this point. And I wonder, like, how will that work exactly? Do you just float in space till rescue, or do you have thrust capability? Perhaps even quantum boost? I mean, I doubt it, but if not, then just sitting in a pod sounds pretty trash, to be honest. I'd rather go down with this ship and just get re-sleeved no matter the consequences or cost. Unless, of course, it's got a little screen that you can play Hyper Vanguard Force on, then I'm all good, obviously. Folk brought up modularity. One guy looking for the Caterpillar to receive its long overdue makeover and become fully modular, with cargo elevators and detachable cockpit and everything. That would indeed be ridiculously cool, and not impossible, but I'm afraid into the Hopium pile you go. In fact, maybe not actually. I would love to know what ship they are going to do after the tally. And it probably would be one they could make money off, right? So, this person would like to see an Ursa-sized APC or some fuel trucks. That's fair enough, that makes sense. Another person asking for some ground vehicle based missions. And that's a really good point. I think a lot more consideration should go into things like this. And I know it would be hard to implement, but there has to be a way. The problem being ships having access to the same places and basically making the ground vehicles redundant. But I'm sure we can come up with some, I don't know, a weather phenomenon or something that will ground ships or drain systems, making in-atmo flight very inconvenient. Then we could run convoys and tank battles and all sorts of cool missions in areas where ships just can't perform the task 10 times easier. We don't really need to have all the planets in the game covered with roads, just, I don't know, a single moon that you can only really fly on to land and take off. One guy wanted AI companions, like droids or Wookiees. Yeah, I'd be down, I'd be down. Anything really. A lot of lonely spacers out there drifting in the crushing void of blackness. Somebody to talk to would be a blessing, even if it's a total, Wilson situation. Ropes and climbing and winches got mentioned. I never even knew this was a thing, but so many people said it that I'm guessing this is something CIG has said in the past. Apparently for accessing deeper parts of caves and descending cliffs and the like. Cool stuff. One guy wants hoverboards. Ship building was mentioned. Player commodity selling or an auction house. Now that would considerably change the game, I think. And very much needs to happen. Would tie in a lot with the crafting convo we had earlier. Mag boots to walk on ship hulls. Also a lot of people asking for timelines for certain ships, obviously. I mean, obviously, right? The Merchantman, the Odyssey, Endeavour, Liberator, the Ranger, the Kraken, the list goes on. And I say there's hope for about 10% of these. I think they'll mention at least a couple of ships from the backlog and the rest will be those new money printing JPEGs. This next person, however, just wants some bins for putting rubbish in. Why can't you all just be like this citizen? Eat your damn rations and be happy. Son, C4 that I can stick to people's backs. Dude, that's devious as hell. I love it. Also think of the gameplay implications as well. Lets you get off people's ships before you blow their power plant. Or set traps in PvP on foot. Great idea. I thought we were getting mines at one point actually. Wonder what happened to that. Drones got mentioned a few times. These were deployable from certain ships for salvage or medical extraction, probably a lot of other things in fact. Not heard much on these for a very long time. This citizen would just like a beeping noise when they reverse. That's a pretty reasonable request, I'd say, CIG. Come on, get the finger out. Absolute health and safety negligence around here, I swear to God. Hangar extensions. This was mentioned recently, in fact, and they will be sections leading off from your hangar that can act as separate spaces for various things. Could be garages or personal spaces that will likely be monetized as modules to add to your existing hangar. Subterranean bases. Now, here we go. This would be a far greater idea than surface bases, in my opinion. Would avoid detection by other players for a start, and possibly avoid getting bombed to shit. I mean, I still want surface bases too, obviously, but this was a great idea, I think. VR support has been another long-standing desire of the community, or at least a section of the community, for ships and items to not have a mind of their own. That's in the wrong section, I think. Maybe not actually. A hex editor and fan-made skins for sale. Okay, that is the most Hopium one so far, dude, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe once every tuppence has been wrung from your arthritic skeletal hands. It might happen. Player-rented corner shops. I mean, yeah, I'm down to clown, why not? Laser swords. There's no other words needed there. Pizza. Yeah, don't forget pizza. The whole freaking Citizen Con should revolve around pizza. That should get its own patch. Fishing. Underwater gameplay. Food prep. Minigames like casino stuff or working pool tables and darts, etc. Stuff like that should be in stations for when you're waiting on your ships. 100%. Somebody wants deployable Segway, and fighting with sticks. Launchable toilet rolls for covering the 890 jump, cause fuck the rich. In fact, the last 10 or so have all been from the same freaking guy, and I'll not even go into the other things that he said. But yeah, like, that's a pretty colourful spectrum of expectations, as you can tell. No way CIG makes a game that can do half of that list, never mind a CitizenCon. But if they know how to do one thing, it's put on a good goddamn show. There's only about a week to go at this point. It's going to be off the freaking chain. I know this list was crazy, but reading through it all has really got me hyped as hell. Let's all try and stay positive till then, guys. Not get bogged down with Corsair nerfs and slower speeds and stuff. It's holiday time. Holiday from worrying about the things we perceive to be going in the wrong direction, and a celebration of what the devs have been cooking up that's good. We can go straight back to the griping after the holidays though. I'll probably lead the charge.
Where's my damn jukebox, CIG?
Anyway, that's a lot of Hopium in one video. It's practically got its own gravity. It's practically gaining sentience. Remember and enter the giveaway. Remember and share it, even though... No, I see you. I see you trying to win by not sharing. YouTube gives me access to all that info, by the way. I see you not sharing because you want there to be less players. Shame. Shame on you. Nah, I'm only joking, it doesn't. But I'm sure the guilt about a 30 quid giveaway eats your freaking soul. Forever. I'll see you next time. 07 guys.